Today, I want to teach you a strategy to leverage your money and purchase multiple rental properties, ultimately, ideally, with no money out of your pocket. Now, it's called the BRRRR strategy. 1B, 4 R's, BRRRR strategy. So the BRRRR strategy stands for buy, rehab, rents, refinance, and repeat. So we're going to walk through all 5 of those steps right now so you can understand this strategy in detail. Step number 1, buy the property. Now you're buying the property. This is where you need to have some money. Now, you can use some creative strategies to buy your first property. For a lot of people, it ends up being equity in your current home. It ends up being a loan from your 401k. You don't have to pay cash for the property. You can buy the property, finance it. You just have to put, typically, depending upon the condition, typically 20 to 30% down. Now, sometimes you have to use hard money financing or rehab financing, depending upon the condition of the property. This strategy works best when you're buying a property that needs a fair amount of work so that you can get a good price on the property now. And then when you rehab it, you're going to have a good amount of appreciation through the rehab. So the question is, are you somebody that wants to take on projects? Whether it's a project you're going to do yourself or you're going to hire a contractor to do is going to impact the math. So you've got to be careful about running the math on this strategy to make sure that it works for you. I know a lot of clients right now that are doing this strategy very, very successfully. And it starts with buying the first property and figuring out where's the seed money coming from. So that seed money, again, could be bank of mom and dad, gift from grandma, could be the 401k loan or a home equity line of credit on your current loan. Lots of different scenarios, but you can get financing as long as the property is in livable condition. Now, the worse the condition of the property, the more we have to look at creative financing options. The bigger your down payment, the less we have concerns about the condition of the property, but sometimes the trade-off is you're going to pay a significantly higher interest rate for that short-term money. Again, that's where I can help you look at some creative options, property by property, to figure out what's going to work. Generally speaking, you're looking at the best terms coming when you're buying a property that is in livable condition, but livable does not mean perfect condition. It can be old, it can be outdated, it can be run down. As long as it's livable, we have a lot more financing options. If it's not livable, now we start looking at bigger down payments, higher interest rates, a lot more challenges, but we'll find a way to make that happen for you. So now you've bought the property, you have your seed money, you purchased that property. The next step is the rehab. Now, for some people, this is the easy part. They're going to do the work themselves, but you still have to pay for the cost of the materials. If you're doing the work through a contract, you're going to have materials and labor, and you got to figure out where's that money going to come from. Again, that's where we can look at maybe a renovation loan, especially if, well, actually, there's options to do renovation loans, whether you're going to live in the property as a primary home, which is a strategy, or you're going to rent it out immediately once it's repaired. You can do a renovation loan that loans you the money for the purchase price of the home plus the repairs, and you're putting your 20% down payment on that grand total, what we call the total acquisition. So that's a strategy we can use as well to get you the money for the rehab. Just remember, with the best terms on a renovation loan comes with you having to hire an outside contractor. If you're wanting to do the work yourself, a lot of renovation loans say, no, hands off. We're worried about your ability to do your regular day job and perform on time and hit the schedule that we need to get the renovation loan done. These are not long-term renovation loans. If you're doing the renovation financing as part of a renovation loan, it's not designed to be a long-term thing that just gets done when you get around to it. So again, do you have options if you want to do the work yourself? Do you have options if you want to take your time getting the work done? You do, but they always come with a bigger down payment and or higher interest rates and closing costs. So there's always a trade-off here, and I'll help you navigate those waters. So now I haven't clicked the button. You've rehabbed the property. You fixed it up so the property is now in better condition. It's rentable condition. You now have, maybe you've added an ADU to the property. Now you've got the property ready for both renting out. So you're now going to find a tenant and you're going to fill that property. But more importantly, we've got the increase in the value of the property. So now that the work has been done, that property value has gone up significantly. But here's the most important part. With most loan programs, you have to wait at least 6 months after you acquired the property before I'm going to consider what the new value of the property is. Now, there's some scenarios where we will look at the amount of renovation you put in and add those dollars to the value of the property. But you depending upon the repairs you're doing, there isn't an exact equation of dollar for dollar. I did this much work and I put this much in and I'm getting this much out the other side. So in most situations, you need to wait 6 months from when you bought the property before you can refinance it. So you can rent it before that, but you're going to keep the original loan that you had in most cases for at least 6 months. Sometimes you need to wait 12. Rarely can you get it done in less than 6 months. So most of the time, we're waiting 6 months so that we can use the current value of the property instead of your initial purchase price, because the current value is going to be a lot higher. Now you're in a position where you can refinance and be able to pull out the money that you had invested into the property. So you're basically in it for nothing. Again, depends on how much you pulled out, how much you've increased the value of the property. But the idea is you get your seed money back. You've raised the value enough that borrowing 80% of that value gives you back the seed money. And now you've got a long-term rental that you ultimately didn't have any of your own money into the property. And now you take the seed money that you had gotten back through that refinance, and you do the final R. You repeat. You take that seed money, you put it into the next property, and you buy that second property. You now figure out, okay, I got to put this much of that seed money in as down payment. I'm going to keep this much of that seed money for rehab. Once it's been rehabbed, I'm going to rent it. Once it's been 6 months from the time that I purchased it, that time includes your rehab time, getting the tenant in there and getting them settled. Then you can refinance the property. And now you repeat and you buy your third property. So hopefully this helps. This is a wonderful strategy for people that want to build investment portfolios over time. There's strategies that you can apply having to do with the number of units that you're buying as well. I'll get into that in my other videos. Really appreciate you listening. I am for sure interviewing to be your lender. So if you have questions about anything, start out by going to my website, canilandlord.com. Check out the blog pages there. You can click a button to request a consultation with me where I can talk through your exact situation and help you figure out what is the right program for you and the right strategy to help you accomplish your real estate portfolio dreams. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.